Hey guys, so today I'm going to take you through a super chill, rolling around on the floor, just get your joints moving a little bit kind of practice. I think you'll find it feels really good. I like to do this, I'm not kidding, when I'm watching TV, with the kids, when the kids are like playing in the basement, they laugh at me, I roll around on the floor, but it just feels so much better than just sitting without moving for a long time. So this is the kind of thing you can do either in a really kind of calm, peaceful way, maybe some gentle music playing, and feel really zenned out. Or you can do this while the kids are crawling all over you, playing next to you, throwing things at you, and you just kind of get moving, rolling around on the floor. So let's do it. Come and join me laying down on the floor. Roll your way down. Plant your feet, knees pointed to the ceiling. Let your hands rest easy by your sides, palms facing up. Lift the head just a little. Lengthen the crown of the head, so slightly, ever so slightly tuck your chin and put your head back down. Close your eyes if that's possible, if you're in a time and a place where you feel like it's quiet enough and relaxed enough to close your eyes. And take a moment to arrive at this place on the mat, on the floor, wherever you're at right now. Allow your body to release and relax and settle into the floor. So as you bring your attention to your body, notice if you're holding a lot of tension in one particular place and see if it's possible to just give that over to the floor. And then we'll take a minute or two to notice our breath. And noticing our breath is a really simple, easy way of focusing your attention and of giving yourself a moment to be with your body and with yourself inside rather than outside all the time. So take a moment, notice the pattern of your breathing. Are you breathing shallowly? Are you breathing more deeply? Don't change anything, just notice. It's about the attention to the breath, attention to what your body is doing. Notice the way your body expands and contracts with each breath. And pay attention. Is your chest rising? Is your abdomen expanding? How about the side ribs? Can you feel the breath in the back body? Can you notice whether your breath is 360 degrees around your body? And now maybe try for the next couple of breaths to find that 360 degree breath. It can help to bring your hands to your abdomen or to your lower ribs. And just notice whether with each inhale you can expand into your hands. And then allow the exhale to just happen, passive recoil of the body. Take a couple more breaths here. Not overly manipulating your breath. But just seeing if you can encourage that 360-degree breath. And you can keep your eyes closed if you want, or you can open them gently, looking up at the ceiling. And with your next breath in, bring your arms up over your head, reach them up long, kind of a full body stretch here. And then bring the arms back down by your sides. And do that a couple more times, going at the pace of your own breath, reaching the arms overhead and bringing them back down. Reaching up. Maybe you want to arc your back as you pull your fingertips away from you. Or maybe it feels good to just get the shoulders moving and to press the low back into the floor. Play around with that. And then next time you bring your arms overhead, grab hold of your right knee, draw it in towards your chest. Circle out the ankle one way and the other way. Bring your right hand to your right knee and your left hand to your left hip bone. And start to circle out the hip. Making circles, you can make these circles as big or as small as feels good. Sometimes I find the circles start out kind of small, and then I can make them a little bigger. And then we can switch directions. And just notice how that feels through your hip. And then hug that knee in one more time. And then stretch it long along the floor. Reach out through your heel. And then rebend the knee, plant it down. Let's do the other side. Bring the left knee into the chest, hug it in. As you hug it in, maybe draw the tailbone down towards the floor. And then we can circle out that left ankle, get some movement into the ankle as well. And then with the right hand on the right hip and the left hand on the left knee, make those hip circles. Maybe notice if the left hip feels any different than the right hip. Just some easy movement here. If anything hurts or if you feel any weird clunking, check that out. Just observe. What is that? Which part of the range of motion is that happening in? Maybe you want to avoid that range, or maybe you want to just explore it gently, coming back to it over and over. And then let's lengthen that leg long along the floor. Reach out through the left heel. And then plant that foot back down. Let's take a couple of pelvic tilts here. So squishing the low back into the floor and then tipping the pelvis forward so that the tailbone comes closer to the floor. Just moving through the pelvis, the low back, getting maybe a little bit of a sense of expansion, and then squishing it into the floor. Next time you tip back and the tailbone lifts, let's continue to lift the pelvis bit by bit, rolling up through the spine. Hands can rest by your sides, rolling up through the spine, coming towards the mid to upper back, letting the shoulders and sternum stay heavy towards the floor. And then rolling back down as if you could do this movement one vertebrae at a time. And let's do that again a couple of times, tilting the pelvis back. Maybe you want to see if you can match the movement to your breath. Inhaling as you lift up. Exhaling as you slowly roll down. Keep doing this, or if you'd like, you can add in the arms. So as we roll up, we sweep the arms overhead like we did at the beginning. And as we roll down, sweep the arms down by your sides. Let's do that one last time, rolling our way up. Reach the fingertips long if they're overhead, and then roll down with the hands sweep down. How does that feel? Should feel pretty good. All right, from here, we're going to take our right leg, cross it over the left for a little figure four stretch, a gentle one. So with that foot crossed over and our foot flexed, let's just press the right knee out and let it relax. And do that a couple of times. Press that knee out and then let it relax. Press the knee out and let it relax. Getting into the outer hip a little bit here, opening up the hip. Do that a couple more times. And then slide that knee across so that your legs are tightly crossed. Draw the knees in towards the chest. Grab hold below your knees, your shins, your ankles, even your heels if you like, down here, and just pull the whole thing into the chest. Draw your tailbone down towards the floor as you draw your knees in. Maybe a little rock would feel good from side to side. One more easy breath here. And then release the feet down to the floor. Uncross, and let's do the other side. Left foot crosses over right. That left ankle is flexed. And we're doing these pulses. So we're pressing the knee open and closed. It's not really closed. It's more of a relax. So we press the knee open, actively rotating the hip out, and then just kind of let it go. And then let's cross left over right and draw the knees in towards the chest. And once again, just grab hold wherever you like. And it doesn't have to be the same. You could grab hold one ankle, one shin, wherever your hands go. Draw the tailbone towards the floor. So at the same time as you're pulling your knees into your chest, there's also a sense of pulling away from the tailbone. And if you do that, you'll probably feel a little more intensity in that left outer hip. Rock it from side to side, little rolling around, and then release the legs. Nice, let's roll all the way over onto our right side now. So come roll right onto the right side, bring the knees up towards the chest so you're at about a 90-degree angle, but of course you can play with that. If that doesn't feel good, just change the angle of your legs. They could be down here. They could be closer up. And if your head is sensitive and this doesn't feel so great for you to have your head on the floor, stick a pillow in there, and that'll probably feel a little better as your head is maybe a little more aligned. Your neck is more aligned with your spine. Okay, and then from here, we'll do a little twisting. So on our next inhale, with our hands are clapped together out in front. So let's inhale. Reach the hands up to the ceiling, left hand to the ceiling. Exhale, open all the way to the floor. Spinal twist. Your gaze can be up at the ceiling. If you like, you can look over to your left hand and follow the movement with your eyes. Inhale, hands up to the ceiling, and then exhale it back where it came from. And let's do that 2 more times. Inhale, hand up. Exhale, open. Inhale the hands up and exhale your hands back on top of the right hand. Inhale the left hand up. Exhale, open. And then inhale it up and exhale it closed. Now we're going to just change up that movement a little bit. We're going to inhale and make a rainbow all the way over our head as we roll, opening up the chest towards the ceiling. And then to close, we're going to bend our fingers
bend our wrist, bend our elbow, and then slide the hand across the body. Reach it past the right fingertips and start that movement again. Inhale, rainbow your way open. And then exhale, curl the hand in, the elbow in, and reach across your body. Reach past your right fingertips. And one more time, let's roll all the way open and curl the fingertips. Curl everything in. Reach past the right fingertips. Nice. And now from this side lying position, we're going to plant our left hand on the floor, straighten your left leg, and press yourself up to sit. Coming up to one of my favorite positions, this mermaid sit position. So I've got my right foot in front, my left foot behind in this zigzag kind of position. Right hand comes to support on the floor. And we're going to continue with that theme of twisting. So open your left hand wide. Inhale, expand. Exhale, closing everything up, twisting towards the right. Reach your left fingertips. And let this movement, as you now continue to move at your own pace and with your own breath, let this movement involve the whole body. So you might notice your pelvis moving, your rib cage participating, your shoulder, your arm, your fingertips, your neck, and your eyes. Everything. So keep that going and feel free to change up the angle. Reach low towards the floor. Reach up behind you. Reach across and up as if there was something there that you wanted, was just a reach that you wanted to reach. And then the next time that you come around, plant both hands on the mat. Turn your chest so that it's between your two thumbs. And lower yourself down towards the mat. So now I will offer you two options. We can do some push-up variations here. And that might feel really good in your chest and your shoulders. So that's one option. Just pushing up, hinging at the hips. The other option is to come all the way down onto your forearms and just rest. Just stay here. Find a comfy spot, something that feels good in your back and your hips. You can rest your forehead onto your fists. You can come all the way down to the floor. So just pick whatever feels good for you right now, what feels like what your body is asking for. Good. And then we're going to come all the way up. And we're going to bring that right leg just a little bit forward, okay, a little bit away. Right hand can still be on the floor. Look back at your left leg now. Feel the edge of your right foot, the big toe edge of your foot pressing into the ground as we now lift that back knee. So this is a little bit of active external rotation in the back knee, trying to get that movement coming just from the hip. So we're doing some passive twisting and some passive stuff, but also a little bit of active movement is really healthy and should feel good in the hips. Okay, and then put that leg back down, and this is going to be, you might get a little cramp in your hip from this, so don't worry about that. Just go with it. Okay, we're going to press our left leg out behind us, trying to straighten it as much as we can. And then we're going to lift that left leg up and swing it around front. Bring it all the way across, coming into a cross-legged seat with the left leg in front. Beautiful. Maybe you got a cramp doing that. Maybe you felt like that was easy. Let's do it one more time, okay? Lift your left leg up. Bring it around behind you. Good, where we started. Push it out. Lift it up. And this time, just set it down right at the diagonal. Good. And then let's swing our right leg out as well, coming to a V-sit. So some people can get their legs really wide. I don't have very mobile hips. This is as wide as I can get. That feels good for my hips. Doesn't matter. It's all good. Flex your feet and just start to hinge forward from the hips. Now I say just, but You're not going to have, some people might be very flexible here and have a lot of movement. Doesn't matter. We're just looking for that hip hinge. So bringing the chest towards the floor rather than slumping through the spine, and see how that feels. As you hinge maybe to your left, do you notice your right sit bone coming up off the floor? So for this variation, let's try to press it towards the floor. Let's try to keep the opposite sit bone down towards the floor as we hinge from the hips. Let's do a couple more of these. So you can be hinging forward, hinging to the right, and hinging to the left. Okay, bring your hands behind you for a bit of support. Bring your feet in. Give yourself some space between your knees so that we can windshield wiper from side to side. Now, just let your knees go side to side. Let it be an easy movement. Let your sit bone come up off the floor as you hinge from side to side. How does that feel through your hips? Okay, and now let's make it a little bit different. As you windshield wiper from side to side, try not to let this sit bone come off the floor. Try to get your knee down as close to the floor as you can, but press that sit bone towards the floor. So that way, we're getting a little bit more into the rotation of the hip, a little bit more internal rotation. Yeah. So play with that. A little bit of more active movement. Good. And then come back to center. Plant your feet about outer pelvis or outer hips distance apart. And we're going to come into a reverse tabletop. So bring your hands behind you. I like to have my fingers pointing out, but you can play with exactly what angle your hands are at. Bring your hands about underneath your shoulders, a little bit, maybe a little bit wider than your shoulders. And we're going to press up into a tabletop position, lifting the hips, squeezing the glutes. Imagine that your knees are drawing away from your hips as your heels are pulling in towards your buttock. Push up to the ceiling. Don't let your head just fling back. Keep your chin slightly tucked so that your gaze is to the ceiling and forward a little bit. Squeeze your bum, lift the hips up, and relax down. Nice. How did that feel through the front of your body? They have a nice front body opening. Okay. From here, we're going to come back down to the floor, lying on the left side. So we were on the right before. Let's come down to our left side. Come on down, bring your left arm out in front of you, right arm on top. Once again, grab a pillow for your head if that makes it feel more comfortable. And let's do that spinal twist. Inhale, reach the hand up. Exhale, open to the floor. Inhale, reach your right hand to the ceiling. Exhale, bring it back to your hand. 2 more times. Let's do this twisting. Inhale, reach your hand up. Exhale, open. Inhale, reach it up. And exhale, open. Go through that one more time and maybe you'll notice, how does this feel compared to the other side? Maybe you already forgot about the other side. Doesn't matter. Just feels good to move. Let's take our right hand now, reach it past our left fingertips, and rainbow the arm all the way around as our torso turns and our chest comes up to the ceiling. Curl your right fingertips in, your right wrist curls in, your right elbow, and the hand slides across the body, reaching past the left fingertips, and do that 2 more times. As you do this, can you think about keeping your knees stacked one on top of the other, rather than letting the right knee slide away from the left knee? And that way, this twist becomes much more of a spinal twist as we anchor down. Good. Reach the right fingertips past the left fingertips. Plant your right hand, press yourself up to sit. Good. And let's come into that mermaid, mermaid sit again. Left hand down, right arm reaches open, and as you exhale, close it up. Now I just offered you that breathing pattern of inhale, open, and exhale, close. But if you want to try doing the opposite, give it a try. Maybe that feels better in your body. Can you tap into the sensation with your breath of what's happening through the torso, through the ribs? Can you find this movement coming not only from the outside, but from the inside as well? Let's do one more and reach it across. Plant both hands down on the mat. And then your choice of hinging at the hips and doing this push-up type motion, or just coming down onto your forearms, resting your forehead onto your fists or onto your hands, and just hanging out there for a bit. Good, now come on up, everybody, come on up. And let's take a look at this back leg. So let's put our hand on our right hip and grounding down through the big toe edge of your right foot, kind of using that as a bit of a hinge point. We're opening and closing this back hip, rotating it out. Good. And then let's do that movement where we press the right foot all the way back. So we're going to press that right leg back, lift it up, swing it around, and bring it in front of us into a cross-legged position with the right foot in front. And then let's try to do that again. Bring the left hand to the floor, swing that right leg back around us. Nice. And then lift it up again, bring it out in front, but this time put it out to that 45-degree angle or whatever angle. Left leg comes out as well, coming into that V position. And this time let's make some hip circles, or not really hip circles, torso circles over the pelvis. Circling it out, other way. Nice. Coming up to the center, point your toes. Give your toes a nice point. And then let's do that hinge again. Hinging forward. Hinging at the hips. Maybe you don't come very far, but you'll feel that through your hips. And how does it feel different now? With the toes pointed, with the ankles plantar flexed. Let's do a couple more of those, and then relax your ankles, let them kind of roll out, and let's come onto all fours. So making your way to an all four position. Get yourself organized here with your wrists more or less under your shoulders, or maybe a little bit forward of your shoulders, your knees under your hips. And let's take our right leg out to the side. So the right leg is in line with the right hip out to the side, and let's do a couple of cat and cow here. So as we inhale, we look up and lift the chest through the shoulders. As we exhale, round the spine and tuck the tailbone under. Do that a couple of times, inhaling, looking up, and then exhale, round. It's a little bit of a different version than just doing it on all fours. Inhale, look up, and exhale, round. Drop your head, press the ground away. Come to a neutral spine now, what you feel like is neutral spine. Maybe lift the back of the head slightly away from the mat. Come onto the inner edge of your right foot. Gather up your strength and lift that right leg away from the floor. And then bring it in back to center.
Left leg comes out to the side now. And the same thing, cat and the cow. As you inhale, look up, chest comes through shoulders, tailbone lifts. Exhale, curling the spine towards the ceiling. Let your head release. Let your tailbone drop down. Push the ground away. Going at your own pace, feel free to stay in a certain position if it feels really good. And then after this one, we're going to come back to the neutral spine, middle position. And then keeping everything steady, maybe feeling as though the side waists are giving you some support, that the side waists are kind of hugging in towards the center. Come onto the outer edge of the left foot, the inner edge of your left foot. Lift that leg up and then draw it in, knee comes down. Send the hips back for a child's pose. Feel free to widen your knees if that feels good as the big toes come together. Come all the way down. Walk your hands over to the right side. Feel that nice side body stretch. And then draw your right hand underneath your right shoulder. So right hand comes under the right shoulder. And if you like, you can come up to the fingertips of your left hand. Feel as though you're hollowing out your left underarm as you dig your left fingertips into the ground, and maybe find a sense almost as if you are pulling your fingertips towards you. Can you take a breath into that side body, filling up the ribs or expanding the ribs on the left side, filling up the low back. One more breath here. And then let's take our hands over to the left side, reaching the hands away from us. Slide your left hand under your left shoulder. And then tent your right hand coming onto the fingertips. Hollow out your right underarm. Pull back a little bit from those fingertips. As you pull back from the fingertips, can you sense your right hip moving away from your right armpit? One more breath here. And then walk the hands back to center. Walk your hands out and lift your hips away from your heels. Organize yourself back into something of an all fours position with your knees underneath your hips. Walk your hands a big step away from you. And then begin to lower the chest between the upper arms. Try to keep your knees underneath your hips. So we're not collapsing back into a puppy dog position. Rather, we're doing more of a downward dog on our knees. So lift the lower ribs away from the floor. Hug the side waists in and around your body towards the center. Spread your shoulder blades so that you feel as though your shoulder blades are hugging around towards the front. Reach out through the fingertips, pressing the ground away. One more breath in this down dog variation. And then walk your hands in, cross your ankles, come to sit on your bum. Find a comfortable cross-legged seat. And we're going to end today's practice in sitting. How did that feel? Was that good? Did you guys like that? Was that some good rolling around on the floor? You guys can feel free to let me know. If you like, this would be a great time to take a halpaya, to lay down on your back. Take a few moments, maybe with your feet up on a chair or a couple of blocks popped underneath your upper thighs. If you have the time, if you have the quiet, go ahead and do that. Letting yourself rest for a few minutes before you get on with your day. Otherwise, I will leave you here in sitting, and I hope to see you guys again soon. Thank you very much for taking the time to practice with me. Have a great day.